like we were saying before, that Rabbeinu says, we learned last week in Sichot Haran in the Shiur in Montreal, we have a shul, we have a chevre, and we learn every morning. We learned Sichot Haran recently, and there we got last week, where the Rebbe says, whenever you see a trip that's mizdamen, when you have a trip in front of you, you got to take the trip. Meaning, if things are working out, that a trip is presenting itself, you to take a road trip or fly somewhere, you should go, because Hashem is leading you to that place to fix things that you have to fix over there. And you shouldn't force yourself to stay where you are instead home, because if you do that, you might have to go there bal kochacha. You might be forced to go there. And the Rebbe brings what's with Yaakov Avinu, that it's a good thing he went down to Mitzrayim with the wagons that Yosef sent him, because otherwise he would have went down with Shashalot Zahav. The Gemara says that he would have went down with chains and chains. So it's a good thing. So the same day that we're considering to come to the Bris, yes, so we shouldn't come to Toronto, and we opened up that Sikha. It's Yadua that whoever's connected to a tzaddik, it's not only when the tzaddik's here. When the tzaddik goes to Shamayim, he's more present in your life than he was when he was alive. And even if you never met him, Rabbeinu said that the Torahs he's saying are for the ones sheyesh po, she'enan po. He sat all of us in mind. Whoever was shaykh to Rabbeinu HaKadosh, he had him in mind from already 210 years ago when he was saying everything he said he had in mind. There's a sikha that says that sometimes the Rebbe says a word to one person, but it's not for him. It's that he should say it to him, and he should say it to him, and it could be 100 years later that it was meant for us. And so that was what we were learning last week, that we saw when you trip, take the trip. So we took the trip, and we came here, Baruch Hashem in Shabbat, we had a beautiful Shabbos by Rabbi Gisselson. I want to say some words of the Rebbe. I'm now here by Rabbi, my dear friend. So B'ezrat Hashem, the schus of the organizing, opening his house for a shiur, and should bring a lot of chef in the house to pay all the bills for the house easy. It's not easy, not a pasha today, huh? And give us shpat toiva, B'ezrat Hashem. The kids should go in the way of Hashem. And a lot of good things with Hashem. So, Baruch haba Rav Daniel, Shkoyach. So the truth is now it's Rosh Chodesh Av. And how much time do we have? An hour. Give or take, a little less maybe. What time is tomorrow?
It's 9:45 here at the Thursday at 10, no?
Is there 10?
No,
10:30 is Shabbat.
Yeah, but in the neighborhood here.
They're lit fish at 10, I think.
Where?
It's 9:45 and 10.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So the truth now is Rosh Chodesh Av, and we should be speaking about Korban Habayis, rebuilding. And so we could speak about that, but I think we'll speak about something else. It doesn't make a difference, because we're speaking about Breslev, we're always speaking about the Binyan Beis HaMikdash. And I'll tell you a story. Rabbeinu's grandfather, his name is Menachem Hordenker. He's buried in Tveria. But before he was buried in Tveria, he was the Talmud of the Baal Shem Tov. He was one of the first Talmidim that the Baal Shem Tov used to send him on trips. And so he wanted, and there's a whole story there that his wife passed away, and his son Simcha was raised by the Baal Shem Tov's daughter, Odo, and eventually there was the shidduch between Odo's daughter, Fega, and this Simcha, who were the parents of Rabbeinu HaKadosh, of Nachman, of Breslev. And so after his wife had passed away, so he wanted to move to Eretz Yisrael. So he came to the Baal Shem Tov and he asked him, he kept bothering the Baal Shem Tov, that he can move to Eretz Yisrael. And the Baal Shem Tov would push him off. And at a certain point, he just kept asking him. They said, okay, go to the mikveh and come back. So I think when they go to the mikveh, they go to a different place. There's kavanas. So he went to the mikveh and he came back to Baal Shem Tov and said, what did you see? He said, I saw Jerusalem. I said, good. And the story of him. He goes back, he says, go back again to mikveh. What did you see the second time? Told him I saw Yerushalayim. First I saw Eretz Yisrael, I made a mistake. Second time, what did you see? Yerushalayim. Third time, and kept going back and forth. Come out of the mikveh, go back to the Shem, go back to the. What did you see the third time? I saw Yerushalayim. I saw the Beis HaMikdash. Fourth time, I saw the Kodesh HaKodeshim. Fifth time, I went in. I said, what did you see? Did you see the Aaron? He said, I didn't see the Aaron. Because the Baal Shem Tov look, he says, because the Aaron is in Mezibush. You want to go to Eretz Yisrael for what? To get to the Aaron? The Aaron is in Mezibush. And Rabbeinu says in Torah Samech Bar, the Aaron is in Mezbush, the Aaron HaKodesh, where the Luchas, that was the city where the Baal Shem Tov was. Okay. The city of the Baal Shem was Mezibus, and he's basically saying, I'm the Aaron HaKodesh. Oh, okay. You're looking for the Beis HaMikdash, it's me. Meaning the center of the Beit HaMikdash, the Evan Shtia, is the Tzaddik Emes. It's written that Hashem created the world, had the tzaddik in mind. And Rabbeinu says in Torah Samech Vav, Samech Zayin, that the shorish of the Beis Mikdash is the tzaddik. Really. There's a physical place, holiest place in the world. There's a holiest day in the world. But there's a holiest person in the world. That's Moshe Rabbeinu, that's the tzaddik emes. And so when we're speaking anything of the Rebbe, anything of Rabbeinu HaKadosh, we're actually building Beit HaMikdash. If we're just able to internalize a little bit these things that we're going to learn, and that itself is rebuilding. So even though we're not going to speak, B'dafka, we are speaking. So there is a Gemara in Yerushalmi. I think it's in Masechet Yoima. I think it's the 4th parak. Can't remember the 5th halacha. Could be 3rd parak. I didn't look it up recently. But the Gemara says an amazing thing. It says Shlosha chinim yesh. There's 3 types of chen. Chen means grace. Grace means you see something, you like it, unexplicable. And you understand based on the Gemara. The Gemara says, Chen makom al yoshveh. And this is what we spoke a little bit yesterday in Rosh Chodesh. I was going to speak something different, because I thought it would be maybe a few things, but I don't know. It's good to review it, to internalize it. And we'll add a few things. So the Gemara says that Chen makom al yoshveh. You like the place where you live. You like it. Why is that? Because Hashem needs communities in all these places. Because there's what to do for Am Yisrael in all these places. Nobody wants to live in China. Maybe Chabad Shaliach, maybe a few people. Nobody wants to go live in Alaska, even though there is Chabad Shaliachim over there. Shrechem. Can't believe these tzaddikim. But in general, you like where you live. If you ask somebody in Florida, they don't know why you're living in Toronto. And you ask somebody in Montreal, Toronto person, why we're living in Montreal, why they don't understand why we're living in Montreal, come to Toronto. But the Montrealers love Montreal, the Torontos love Toronto. And Florida loves Toronto. I don't like Florida. I like Montreal. With all the snow, how can I like it? Because I have to live there, so Hashem makes me like it. Chen makom el yoshveh. And when you're not supposed to live in, you're not meant to live in a place, Hashem's going to take away that chen. You're not going to see the beauty. It's a nice place. I'm starting to like Toronto, by the way. It's a nice, it's nice. It is nice. Very nice. Second is, remember what the Gemara says, chen mikra lo kcho. When you buy an item, you like what you buy. Because business has to continue. There's exchanges that have to happen. And when you buy an item, you're supposed to buy that item, so Hashem gives you that you should see it and it should be by you. The third one is that chen isha ba'ala. When you get married, you meet the right girl, she's the one. How is she the one? Hashem puts inside of you that she's going to have a chen, she's going to have something special. Good. We all understand those things. The Gemara says there's something amazing. It says there's a 4th one, but it's not now, it's not tidavo. When Mashiach is going to come, he's going to bring this 4th beauty, this 4th grace, this 4th love for something. And he brings a pasuk, which is what we're here discussing. And the pasuk says, "V'asiroti michem et lev ha'even, v'natati lechem lev basar." So the Gemara says, I think it's in Navi, I think it's in Cheskel. It says, I'm going to take away from you a heart of stone. So long as now we're here in the Gullus, we have a heart of stone. Hashem's going to take away that heart of stone. He's going to give us a heart of, in French we say de chair, like a soft flesh. A flesh. We had a heart of stone. We're going to have a heart of flesh. And the Gemara says, Al tiche basar and a boser. Don't read basar, you can interchange. A samich, you can interchange with a sin. Al tiche basar, sin, and a boser, samich. What is boser? So if you look in the Mefarshim on the Yerushalmi, it says, and by the way, the Gemara says, Sheikol echad boser b'chelko shel chavo. Everybody's going to be boser in his friend's portion. What does that boser means? It means, the Mefarshim saying, you're going to hate. You're going to hate your friend. Isn't that funny? We're reading now. That's right. We're talking about Beis Mikdash, right? V'ahavta l'recha kamocha, ze klar godol. What is v'ahavta l'recha kamocha? V'ahavta l'recha kamocha. You're going to love him like you love yourself. But what if I tell you that right now we all have the same problem? We don't really love ourselves. Most people, they ask him, do you feel like you're so special, so chashu? Hashem made you. I saw a sticker where somebody said, if you're still alive, it means that Hashem can't have the world without you. So Hashem didn't give up on you. Why did He give up on yourself? But the Gemara says, what does it mean that you're going to hate your friend? It means not going to hate him. Right now, a person don't like themselves so much. They don't feel the chen that they have. I'm such a schlepper, I have so many verves, I can't get anything right, I have all these ambitions and I'm not able to fulfill them. But at the other people, he looks nice, he looks good. You see his matziv, you see how he's learning, you see how he's earns, you see how he's yirat shamayim. Everybody's seeing somebody else is having a chen. That guy's chen. You see how he is, and he's matzliach. And by themselves, they don't have the chen. But when Mashiach is going to come, it's going to be a spotlight on each person. And Hashem is going to open up his eyes to realize that Hashem created him. He's perfect as is, with all of his deficiencies, and with all of his obstacles, and with all of his heaviness. That's part of the beauty, that you're able in all this difficulty to overcome and to win small battles. And a person's going to feel so in love with himself, such a chen, such a beauty, that it's going to be as if he hates the other person. He's going to love the other person. He's actually loving more, because the way to love somebody else is when you're not threatened by him. So when you really feel good about yourself, you feel so meushar, ashreinu, and you feel the chen in yourself, so then automatically nobody else is a threat, and you actually really do love them. You notice in Torah Resh Pei Beis, which is one of the big Torahs, it says over there that you got to find the Nikud Toiv in somebody else, and you got to see his beauty, and by that you're going to make him do tshuva, and then you got to find in yourself. Where Nosson, if I remember well, when he davens, he switches the order. Help me find first in myself, and then I can find in other people. The chiddush is the tzaddik. Rabbi said that his sefer is the beginning of the Geula, right? And you see it physically as well. Right now, we've never lived in such a time where a person can have so much free time to learn Torah. It used to be, just 200 years ago, the society and the way of living was the same for about 5,500 years. There was not much of a difference. There was wagons, there was horses, there was water from the well, there was washing the clothes, there was working just to get bread, and they lived in huts. And then 2000, when Rabbeinu passed away, the whole world changed. I mean, where we're holding now, where things start to evolve, industrial revolution with the train, and then eventually to where we are today, you see that Yemot HaMashiach are just, it's a transition phase. The Gemara says, when Mashiach is going to come, one of the signs for Mashiach is there's going to be no more money. No, the Farshim were bothered to what to do with that. But now we understand the word very good, right? You ever have coins in your pocket anymore? Even the tzedakahs on the shuls over here, it's a tap. It's a tap $2. Do you like the coffee? Tap $2. Tap $5 for the shul. There's no more coins in the pockets. There's money, but it's not a coin anymore. It's all numbers. So you see that things have evolved since the Rebbe put his book into the world, and physically and spiritually. If it happened physically, so much more spiritually. That all these concepts are really, the whole Likutei Moran is the ushering in of Yemot HaMashiach, bringing what will be then that you can have access now. Whoever is learning Sifra Breslev is having Tuameya. You got dressed early after Chatzot, you went to mikveh, you're there, you turned off the phone, you lighted the candles at Plag HaMincha, you tasted some of the food, you're already in Shabbos, even though it's not Shabbos. The Rebbe is giving what's going to be then, you can have it now. Rav Nosson said, Rabbeinu said, between me and Mashiach there is no difference. The only difference is there it's forced, there's no free choice anymore, and here you have the free choice to listen or not, to take these things and internalize them. But one of them, and by the way, when Rabbeinu moved to the city of Breslev, as soon as he came, he said, now we're going to be called forever Chassidim Breslev, and we're going to not lose that name, even though the Rebbe lived in different places, and he passed away in Uman. Why are we not called Uman Chassidim? Because it's not about, Uman is part of it, but it's the Lev Doser, to love yourself, to find the chen in yourself, to find the grace in yourself. By the way, one of the things that when you get to Uman, you feel like you found yourself. There's a story that the Rabbeinu told, that there was a person that was having a dream, a recurring dream, and that in Vienna, last year we actually traveled through Vienna to get to Uman, because so finally got to go to that Vienna, beautiful city, and he said there was a person having a dream, and the dream was that in the big bridge in Vienna, under the big bridge, there was a treasure. So he kept having the dream. One day he said, so we got into things together, and he went to Vienna, and he was there, and he found the bridge. Problem was, there was a soldier. And the soldier was there, he was guarding. So what are you going to start digging? So the soldier caught that he was snooping around. So then, what do you need over here? He said, I have a dream, and blah, blah, blah. He said, you fool, I also have a dream in some village, in some shack, underneath the, you know the story, Yosef? Underneath, so everybody knows the story. So and he was telling that the treasure was back in his house. So he went back, so you find yourself. You find the treasure in yourself. You find your chen. You find the beauty that you have. Your nekuda toiva. You find it by the tzaddik. The tzaddik's job, and that's Breslev, chen. You should find your own chen. And then once you have that, everything falls in place. When you have that real simcha, everything falls in place with you, with your family, other people around you. When you have the people who affect others are the ones who are so, you say, viendo, in French we say, viendo sa peau. He fits good in his skin, meaning he's happy with himself. He has the chen of himself. And very much the avodah of Breslev is to find that. So I'll show you where it's written in a few places. And how do we get it? It's not automatic.
Amen.
You know that Rabbeinu, the last 4 years of his life, he started to tell stories. At a certain point, he said, "I see my Torahs don't work anymore, so I'm going to start to tell stories." And in Breslev, we put actually Sipurei Maisis on top of the other swarm. You know the same way you put a Chumash on top of a Gemara, so you put Sipurei Maisiot, it's the highest book. And the last story that he said, and he actually said, if I would have come to the world just to tell this story, it would be enough. And that is the story of the 7 beggars at the end of the Sipurei Maisis. So I read just the beginning of this story. One day there was a mass flight. From a certain country, all the people fled. In the course of their flight, they passed through a forest. There a boy and a girl were lost. So you have 2 children, and there was a bricha. Hashem will help, we won't have to run away. And there was 2 kids that were lost in a forest. One person lost a little boy, and another lost a little girl. They were both small children, on 4 or 5 years old. The children did not have any food, and they began to scream and weep because they did not have anything to eat. So now 2 kids are in the forest, they're hungry, they don't have anything to eat, and they start to scream. Suddenly a beggar appeared. He had a sack in which he was carrying bread. The children approached him and began to follow him. He gave them some bread and they ate. "How did you come here?" he asked them. "We don't know." So now he's asking the kids, "How did he get here?" He said, "We don't know." They replied, "They're only little children." When we began to leave, they asked him to take him along. So now the kids asked the beggar, who was a tzaddik, 7 tzaddikim. They're called beggars because the way to become a tzaddik is to beg God. Never to ask on your own merit. We don't have any merits. But Hashem, and when it's in your merit, even if you have it, it's very small. But if it's a gift, God can give as big as a gift as He wants. So this tzaddik, he asked them, "Take us with you." "I do not want you to go with me," he replied. Meanwhile, they got a better look at him. They realized that he was blind. They found this very surprising. If he was blind, how did he find his way? The blind beggar blessed them that he should be like him, saying that they should be old like him. He left them some bread to eat and went on his way. The children realized that God was watching over them and had brought them this blind beggar to give them food. So the next day the same thing happened. And there was another beggar, they needed food again. Another beggar came and he was deaf. And the same thing happened. He gave them food. "Can I come with you?" "You can't come with me." They realized he was deaf. And then the next day another beggar came. He had a crooked neck and then a hunchback, and every day it's the same thing. Later on, these 2 kids get married. And at the Sheva Brachas, they're longing for these tzaddikim that had once met them. And so, as they were longing, it says, as they were longing and hoping, he came and said, "Hine bati, I'm here." And then he told them like this: "I blessed you that you should be like me. Now I'm giving to you a gift that you should be like me. And you think that I'm blind. I'm not blind at all. Just I don't look at the shtusim of this world. Not all this whole world doesn't mean anything to me, that I should stop and take a look. And you think I'm deaf, the second one said I'm not deaf at all. Just all the shtusim that people are speaking don't go into my ears. And the third one who is mute is actually I'm the best speaker in the world. I can praise Hashem. And each one that had deficiency, actually, it was a different level of. So at the first he blessed him, you should be like me, and actually he gave it to him as a gift. So look what Rabbeinu says here in Torah Kuf Pechet. And all this is kedai also to know for Rosh Hashanah. It's coming up in a few months. 2 months, Be'ez Hashem. Rabbeinu says in Torah Kuf Pechet, you need to travel to the tzaddik to get what you've lost. The Gemara says in the second Nida Lamed Amud Beis, says before you come to the world, you know exactly why you're coming. None of us are new souls. We've been here many times. We have a lot of what to fix. And you choose the situation that you're in. You're begging to come back in the situation where you were in, with your family, with your community, with your ups and your downs, everything. Everything is custom made for the person. Now, before coming to the world, we teach you everything you have to do. Now, the thing is, as soon as you came out to the world, you know exactly what your mission is here and what you have to fix. But before you come, once you come down, so we give you a hit, the Gemara says. That's why you have a little slit at the top of your lips. The angel comes and give you a hit on the lip, and you forget exactly what you're supposed to do. And that's what's written, Mahir lishmoa, Mahir le'abed.
That's your customized, personal for you.
Yes. You came for something special, and I came for something special. And who you're supposed to be, and what you're supposed to become, and what you're supposed to go through, and who you're supposed to become in this world, is actually, you know exactly the plan. The thing is, once you get here, it's not so easy, you forgot what you're supposed to do. Now, Mahir lishmoa, Mahir le'abed. It's like you lost something. You lost your nekuda. You lost who you are. V'tzarich la'azor levakesh avedato, v'aveda shelo yitzeh latzadik. Who you are is by the tzaddik. Ki atzadik chozer al avedato an shemotza. The tzaddik works to find all his avedas. V'achar shemotzi chozer levakesh achar avedot achrim. After he does that, he goes to look for the avedot of everybody else. Ad shemotze gam avedatam. Ad shemotze avedot shel kol ha'olam. Al ken tzarich lavo lechacham levakesh lakir avedato v'lashuv likabela etzlo. Look at the words the Rabbi said here. You got to come to the tzaddik to ask to find out your aveda. And once you find out, it says, look well, tzarich lavo lechacham, to come to the chacham. Changes the language, right? At the beginning he calls him tzaddik, and now he calls him chacham. Why is that? Because to find this, you got to be a tzaddik. The Rebbe used to fast from Shabbos to Shabbos, 18 times in a year. Because that's the maximum amount of times you can do in a year. Because there's always going to be a Rosh Chodesh, so you can't fast tomorrow. There's going to be a Hanukkah, there's going to be a Purim, there's going to be all kinds of Chagim that you can't fast. So he would fast every day that was possible to fast, he would fast. And when he would fast the whole week. Now, if Arnie would be broken in the week, so he wouldn't ruin the body. He would eat whatever small things that he would eat during that week. And he would go in a cold mikveh at 6 years old, and all the ways that he did, he took upon himself suffering, and his wife passed away, and his kids passed away. All this is Pnat Tzaddik. When he did all that to be Moisés Nefesh, now he figures out everything of the whole world, every single Jew, every single one. And then you got to come to him, but now he's a Chacham, because he's able to explain to you. He has the wisdom to be able to give to you who you are. You find your treasure by him. When you get to Vienna, you go to the treasure, you go back home, you find who you are. What am I supposed to be? And then it says, you got to come to Lakir, Levakesh Lakir Avedato, to know it. V'nashuv l'kabla etzlo. You got to come back to receive it. You notice in the story?
What do you mean by come back? What does that mean?
So let's go back to this story. The story was that you have two kids, 6 or 7 years old. Chazal say that when you get to Shamayim, they're going to ask you your age. And the age that you lived here is not necessarily how old you're going to be over there. You can have a person very old and he lived only a few years because he only used a few years. Rabbeinu Sefer is called Chayim Moran. Why did Rav Nosson call it Chayim Moran? Because he used every single second. By Rav Nosson's book, it's called Yimei Moranat. His biography was Yimei. I had a few good days. But the Rebbe had a full life every single second. You know, the Rabbeinu was mitchadesh every second, every breath. He was starting again, every single breath. Can't begin to understand that. So, these two kids that are in the forest, how did he get here? We don't know how we got here. We all understand where the world is today. And there's everybody. Somebody's telling me from per birth, about Tshuva. We're all in the same boat. We don't know what we're doing. Olam hazeh is crazy. It's true. When you grow up with something, you have good kelim. The Baal Tshuva has a lot of light, and the from per birth has a lot of kelim. You got to make sure that the Baal Tshuva has kelim after, because otherwise you got to give the kelim to the kids. But we're all in a forest here. We don't know what we're doing. We're all lost. We're all trying to use our days properly, not be like a 6-year-old kid, a 7-year-old kid. And they're crying for bread. Bread. You know, they say that a child starts to speak when he starts to eat wheat. They're crying for this seichel. They're starting from this wisdom to understand exactly who they might be. Bread is, you start to have intelligence. Everybody's crying to figure out who they're supposed to be. You want to just know, what am I supposed to do in this world? Where am I supposed to put myself? So, you come to the Chacham Nakir Avedato. When they were crying, they will learn that a yearning, even if they didn't know the yearning was from Hashem, Pitom, the beggar came. It's a free gift. The Rebbe comes into your life, you didn't expect him. The Rebbe can know that, right? You were just there as you were, all of a sudden Rabbeinu came from behind you, he tapped you on the shoulder. I'm here. I give you some bread at the beginning. Give you some seichel, give you some yeshuas maybe. And all of a sudden you want to be with him, you want to come with him, you want to stay, I'm staying with you. Hey, we're very far, we're very different. Don't you see I'm blind? You're seeing the whole world, we can't, we have to have a kesher. Chazal say, Ulidov kabo. What is a dov kabo? You got to cleave to Hashem. How can you cleave to Hashem? So there's two Gemaras. One says, Davek b'minutav. Cleave to his midas. The same way that he's you'll be like him. And one says, Davek to Talmidei Chachamim. It's really the same thing, because the Talmidei Chachamim have the good midas of Hashem, so you cleave to the tzaddik, so you're going to cleave to the midas, you're going to get there. But you have to have a similarity. Physically, we can be close. You can be sitting with somebody in this metro, you have no shaykhs with him. Physically, you can be, but spiritually, two people can be across the world, they're very close. They're very, very close. In Shamayim, there's no more physicality. So closeness is defined by similarity. The more you worked on yourself here to be similar to Hashem, and tzaddik, you're going to be close to them. So now you want to go, the tzaddik came, he gave you bread, that's a freebie. That's a Pesach. But now you want to come, you want to get Matan Torah, you got to work on yourself. So now, at the beginning, you see what you could become, who you could become, what you could get to. You see it. Nakir avidato. But now there's a lot of work in the middle. And then at the end, what happens is you come back to the tzaddik. After you worked, now you're an adult already, now you're getting married, now you're having a shleimus. So now he comes and he's giving it to you. At the beginning, I blessed you, should be like me. Now I give it to you as a gift. There's stories like that. There's a lot of stories. Rav Nosson wanted to wake up every night. Rav Nosson had a seder that the Rebbe gave to him. Reb Chaim's seder plus all these voidas, plus the look at the tefillas, plus the writing, plus the. How is he going to do that? So he wanted it. He was, how do you wake up in the middle of the night and try to sleep in the middle of the day to catch up? The Rebbe gave him a bracha. From now on, you're going to be able to wake up and sleep whenever you want. Imagine the bracha. You're going to be able to fall asleep as soon as you put your head on the pillow. The Rebbe gave it to him. He gave it to him. Rabbi Aaron, this is your tzeh today, Rabbi Aaron of Breslev, the Rabbi of Breslev, we spoke about him yesterday in chassidus. He was Rabbeinu's Rov, mein Pushin Rov. And he said, I gave you bira medame. You know, in order to be paskin a sheila in halacha, it's not style. Today there's a lot of good rabbis, but basically they're using, they have a shop and somebody else, made the merchandise. I'm just telling you what the Chazon Ish said and what Chacham Obadiah said and what Moshe said. I'm giving you what they said. I just know where to look. So I have the merchandise to go. But in order to say a psak, I think the Chazon Ish, we have a wonderful Rosh Chabur in the Kola, Rabbi Yitzhak Lover, really wonderful Talmid Chacham. He told me the Chazon Ish, it was on side, but it says you can't paskin one halacha properly if you have any bad midas. If you didn't fix all the midas, there's always a negias over here. There's always something where I'm going to get out of it by saying more like this or more like this. So Rabbeinu gave to Rabbi Aaron biru midame. I'm giving you now a biru of you're not going to have dima. You're not going to imagine things in a non-proper way. In the halacha, you're going to have it. It's a gift. That means that it doesn't come free. You got to work a lot, but almost the tzaddik has the ability to show you where you should be. You're going to work, and he can actually give a closer on it. So the avoida is to come to the tzaddik to start to know who you're supposed to be. And by the way, that's what's happening when you get to the Rebbe, when you get to Breslev, when you open this forum. You're going to see that there's something happening inside you. You're going to start to have a kisuf and a ratzon of who you would like to be. Ratzon is kisufim, desires. You're going to start to have cheshek. Who do you want to be? What would you like to do? Rabbi, tell me which mitzvahs. And Nosson writes that Ratzak Kadosh Baruch Hu is zakot et Yisrael. Lefichach yivbarem Torah mitzvot. Hashem wants to give us schus to Hashem. So you have a lot of mitzvahs. That's a schus. It's hard. I have so many things to do. I can't do anything right. No, you misunderstood. You're not meant to do everything. But if it would only be this big, the Torah, and only these mitzvahs, so if you're not shaykh, you're not shaykh. So we give a big, wide array of things. Rabbeinu, he was not machmir. At a certain point, he wanted on Pesach to go to a place where there was a spring. So because there's no bittul on Pesach, so he thought that even in water, even mashu, so he wanted to go to a spring. And then once he wanted to do that, he decided chumis eteris is not the right way. There's a shulchan aruch. Doesn't mean to be mekel. People make a mistake. I once asked my Rav Kenny, that's how he said no. It means that you don't take a kulis. But if it's something's muskam, and there is you don't have to add all chumas for nothing. But the Rabbi said, take one mitzvah and put all the chumas over there, and all that you do it. Take one thing. So it's just showing you that there is a certain place where you feel like you fit in. You feel like this is what you want to be. So, but you don't even know who you are until you get to find this Aveda. So you got to come there, and he's going to tell you. You're going to sort of have this vision. You're going to come out of there. What happened over there? What did you do over there? What did you travel there for nothing? Why did you spend $5,000? Why did you sleep 8 people in a room? What's different you than me already? There's a big difference. I sort of know where I want to get to. Now, you've been going there for 20 years. The same thing. Maybe. Because maybe I didn't follow the recipe. Rabbi gave a recipe. And Rabbi said, I have pity on 2 people. I have pity on the ones that don't know me, and I have pity on the ones that know me and don't follow what I say. So there is birurim that we need to follow. We have to follow the Rebbe. And the Rebbe asked for 3 things. And you see that all this is a birur. First, you're going to know what you want to be. You're going to have this sort of vision. And if you don't start working on it, you can lose it. It's going to become, it's not for me. But at the beginning, everybody has it. He has a kivun, he has a direction. It could change with time. Because he could bring you to one level, then want to bring you somewhere else, want to bring you somewhere else. There's end-sof levels that he could bring you to. Now, the 3 things you're going to have in order to make this happen, it's actually 2 Torahs. So, in Samech Vav, I'll say it in a second, but one is to have every day's voidless. Every day. The Rabbi said, Rav Nosson says 3 things we have clear. One is Uman Rosh Hashanah. One is Shulchan Aruch every day. And one is his voidless. And all these things are the biru. To separate and to find a path. Rosh Hashanah, that's where everything starts. You got to be happy on Rosh Hashanah. You got to think good thoughts. So you come to the Rosh Bait, and he's working mainly on your thoughts during that 2 days. It's not good. It's not good to speak the first day, because the more you speak, the more you can ruin the diburim. And then next, you got to learn Shulchan Aruch. He's got to know what to do, and especially to be impressive without Shulchan Aruch is dangerous, because there's a lot of statements over here that's very powerful statements. And if you don't take it with, not to move one area of the halacha, to learn every day from the beginning to the end, all ziknei anash, you'll find them. That with the Shulchan Aruch, Rav Nosson, Rabbi said he's boyd the chatzot, he's boyd the, so every night he would wake up in the middle of the night, he would first thing Shulchan Aruch. If you don't know what Hashem wants in halacha, how can you begin? But then you got to have your own biru. Shulchan Aruch doesn't say how you're supposed to find your place. He's telling you in general. There's shtay mikra v'echad targum. Shtay mikra is I gotta read the Torah with the tzibur, but I gotta do my own job. There's all collectively Shulchan Aruch, all the same. But then where's your Shulchan Aruch? That's these voidless. And that you go, and many times these bodies has to be very much to develop this nekuda that you felt, that you got from the Rebbe. Here's who you are supposed to be. In Torah Lamed Daled, we said yesterday, the Rebbe says a wonderful thing, based in the Gemara, Masechet Tanis, Hafalev, I think. He says that there was Abai and Rava, the biggest of the Amorim, the Rosh Hashivas, and they used to have a spiritual revelation once a week for Abaye, every Shabbos, and once a year, every Yom Kippur for Rava. And what was it, like a Shalom Aleichem from Shamayim? And what it was, basically a kiss from heaven, that we're happy with you, that you're on the right path. Abaye had a chalishu sadas from somebody else, because he told him, and Shamayim, don't feel so proud of yourself, there's somebody else every day. And who was his name? Was Abba Umana. Abba Umana, who was this? The Gemara says, you can't do, they told Shamayim to Abba, you can't do like Abba Umana. You're not going to get to his level. Who was Abba Umana? So he was a doctor. He was a doctor. He was a bloodletter. You know that the refuah goes according to what we believe. So if you believe that Adva works, it works. If you believe that letting out blood works, it works. So the whole Gemara is full of that. And so his practice was a Halik practice. So the Gemara says over there, it says that number one, he had women and men separate. No mixing. In the practice, women on this side, men on this side, no monkey business. He had a special gown for a lady that she would come in order to place the leech or the needle, whatever it was. So there was a little opening in order to expose the arm. Could be for a doctor, it's mutter. He's a second, he's in his arvid, he's working. So, but she would, in order to be a little more sneers. Fine. Then he said when a person would come and he had to pay, so there was a box. And you put your hand in and you would let go of the coins. But if you didn't have money, you just put your hand in and it wouldn't look, it's on the house if you don't have money. But you're not going to be embarrassed that it's on the house. Sometimes something's on the house, but it will make you feel that it's on the house. Right? If Talmid Chacham would come, it would be free. And he would give him money afterwards to go feed yourself a good meal. Because the Gemara says, on the day that you let out blood, you're weak. You got to eat well in the day. So you see what a tzaddik he was. Then the Gemara says a whole story that Abaye wanted to test him. So I remember well, he sent two shluchim to be over there. So they were achsania by his house, and he put like a nice carpet for them to sleep on. In the morning, they actually took the carpet themselves. They took it and went to the shuk. They stole it. In the shuk, who did they meet? Abba Umana. They said, excuse me, sir, what do you think this is worth, this carpet? They want to know, we're looking to sell this. What do you think it's worth? He said, well, I paid for it, this carpet, such and such. And so afterwards, they told him, okay, it's yours, you got us. But tell us, what did you think when we took it and we... So I thought you had pigeon shvuyim, and you were too embarrassed to ask for the money, and I have to give anyway, so you just took it, and afterwards you're going to tell me. He says, okay, you're right, and here it is, it's yours. He said, no, once you took it, in my mind, I donated it to you. Now it could be a matana b'tos. It's another b'tos. You could take it back. You see that everything he did over here was so righteous, and the Gemara says that he had a bigger shkoyach from heaven than Abaye. We all want to be the Rosh Hashiva. But if he would have tried to be the Rosh Hashiva, he would have missed out who he was supposed to be in the world. There are special people in Am Yisrael that have done things you cannot begin to imagine. And if Abaye would try to be a doctor, also wouldn't be good. You're supposed to be the rabbi, and you're supposed to be the doctor. Be the best doctor. Hashem put you here. Why couldn't I have been a rabbi? Why didn't I have been yeshiva? Why did I have to grow up like this? Why did I have to be Bal Tshuva? Why did I have to... You know what Hashem wants from you? We don't have chen in ourselves. We don't have a chen. Latid lavo, we're going to have that chen. Because we're going to realize this is perfect. The chen, we said at the beginning, the Gemara says, in Yerushalmi, that right now you have three things have a certain grace. Your wife, where you live, where you buy. But we don't have grace ourselves. The Gemara says when Mashiach comes, you're going to hate your friend. Doesn't mean you're going to hate your friend. You're going to love yourself so much, it's going to be as if you hate them. But right now you love your friend, you don't love yourself. Because we all think we're b'di'evet. We're not b'di'evet. Just wherever you are, that's exactly where you have to be. Just make the best out of it. Each one can be tzaddik ador where he is. Where he is in your life, where you are. Now, you got to find that nekuda. You got to find who you are. You got to find your place. Could be everything is in the but you didn't figure it out yet.
Can it just be where you are?
Huh?
Can it just be where you are? That place is
Yeah,
where you are?
yeah. But the thing is, if you don't know about it, it could be right here and you're not doing it. It could be right next to you. You lost your glasses, and you're walking for 10 minutes, and they're on your head. They're right there. You just let somebody to show it to you. And so, the tzaddik shows it to you, but it's not done there. So I didn't read the end of the Torah. The Torah says, "Achat tzaddik eno meshiv lo aveda ad sheyidreshenu im eno ramai v'shakran." כמו שכתוב, עד דרוש אחיך ושבותו לו, עד שידרוש את אחיך ממנו רמאי, במציע כ"ז, עמוד בייס. There's a loch in Elementzias, if you find something, how do you know if you're allowed to keep it or not? All the halachas are really based on one principle, is Yehush. Can we assume in this scenario that the person, that he gave up on finding his wallet, his watch, whatever it is? And we have all kinds of klonim to say, did he have Yehush, he didn't? If it's in a Yiddish place, if it's from people, if it's... so then we can assume that he did or didn't. So we give it back. And if you find a wallet in Manhattan, and there's $10,000 inside, and it says, your neighbor from Toronto, Mr. Cohen, with the payas and a shleimel, and it's you're allowed to keep it. Because you had Yush in Manhattan, it's all going. It's you walking behind him, he lost it, you see him check his pant, lost it, you pick it up, you're allowed to keep it. But it's his. He had Yush, he doesn't get it back. The Rabbi says here, he gives it to you only if he only gives it to you. The Kabbalah though, if you're not mityayesh. There's a famous story of Khan Inspector in the city of Kovna, that there was a lady that the husband was Talmid Chacham, and he was learning full year, and once a year he would go and he would buy merchandise in the big fair, and he'd come back and he would sell it in his local town. He would have enough money to... 1 year before the fair he got sick. He wasn't able to go. So it was a big loss, because he's not going to be able to make his deals, and he's going to be the whole year without parnasa. So he had to give to his wife the money to be able to go. She went there, she doesn't know a thing, he tried to direct her, she had all the money, she came to finally a guy to make a deal, she finally negotiated after, and then she looks in her purse, she doesn't find any money. The money's gone. So I think she almost had a heart attack, or she fainted, I don't know what happened. Where's the money? They start to retrace the steps. They got to a place where it was. One guy says, yeah, I actually saw the guy that found a bundle of money over here. So they went to a Mazel, was a Yid. Mazel. So they bring him. Can we have them back the money? You found our money. He said, I'm sorry. Halacha is going over here. I'm really sorry. I see that you're honest person, but halacha. And he was the from Yid. I'm allowed to keep it. So she started to bawl and started to cry. How can you do that to me? He says, well, I have daughters to marry, and if Hashem made it fall to me in a situation where it's allowed for me to keep, I don't know if I'm allowed to give it back to you. So she started to lose it. There's no Rav over here. There's no Rav over here. So they went to Rabbi Khan Inspector. If I remember well the story. So they came to Rabbi Khan Inspector, and they go over the whole scene, and he's so sad to say. He said, I'm sorry. He's right. You should be giving it back, but I can't force him al pi halacha. So then she started to have a breakdown. And then she spit out, but what's my husband going to do when he finds out I lost his money? So he told her, 1 second, what? What? Your husband? Whose money is this? It's my husband's money. It's your husband's money? Give me back the money. Took back the money from the bank. It's not his. She can't have Yehush on something that's not hers. It's not hers. She can't have Yehush. The husband's sick in bed. He doesn't know it's lost. There's no Yehush. You give back the money. You can't have Yehush on something that's not yours. You are not yours. You have to take care of your body. You have to take care of your soul. It's a pikadon. Every day we say it. You're not to give up on yourself. But why would you give up on yourself? Because it's so long. I had these great aspirations. It's not working. So it's not true. Because if you have the three things, if you have these voidus every day, part of these voidus is begging Hashem to get where you would like to be. There's a lot of things in his voidus, and number one is just to show up. To show up. Today I went to his voidus in Rabbi Gislin's shul. I couldn't speak for about most of the time. I was krechzing. You know what's krechzing? I was trying to see what's going on with me. But at the end, I think I spoke for 5 minutes, but it was a real 5 minutes. I sang a niggun of Rosh Chodesh. Today's Rosh Chodesh. This beautiful niggun. We didn't sing on Shabbos, so I sang it to myself, and then I was able to speak for 5 minutes. But the 5 minutes can change a life. And this 5 minutes today, another 5 minutes tomorrow, if you just keep having, and part of that is saying, Hashem, you know what I feel like I would like to do for you? This is what I would like. Here's what I imagine.
It's almost like I can't do it without you.
For sure we cannot do it without him.
Yeah, it's almost like-
You gotta beg him to become who you would like to become, and you can become it. If you want it, it's shaykh to you. If you have desire for something, why do I have no desire to be shaykh? Zero desire. I have no desire to open a factory to give the best meat that could be with all the hummus. I have no desire for that. It's not shaykh for me. Another guy, that's all he's looking for, but he can't do it because it's too hard. And I have different things I would like to do, but I can't make it happen. I could. I just don't give up. If I just keep wanting it. Now there's a little bit more, because to find your nikuda, to find it, we have a few more minutes, right? So Torah Lamed Dalet, the Rebbe brings up this concept again. This Gemara, what I told you, Baba Umana, was in Torah Lamed Dalet. And the other Rebbe says, in Ot Dalet, V'kol echad v'echad Yisrael yesh lo דבר יקר, שהוא בחינת נקודה, מה שאין בחבירון. כי מעשה דאביי ואבא אומנה, שהבשילה לא מצית למעבד כעובדה דאמונה. You can't do like אבא אומנה. ובחינה זאת שיש בו יותר מרהו משפיע ומאיר מעורר לב חברו. Later on, it's going to be that there are 3 nekudas to get this. So one we spoke about is that tzaddik, it all starts with there. It all starts by going, and if you can get there physically, it's the best. If you can't get there and you open the books, also great. Many Breslevers in the last generation never made it to Ummah. Big Gedoy Leona, Rav Gedali Kenny, never made it to Ummah. There was people that never made it. And believe me, they were real Breslevers. There's a Dibur that Rabbi says, when you believe in the tzaddik with emunah, you can fall. When you believe in das, you won't fall. And so Rav Shimshon Barsky was a great grandson of Rabbi, who writes in letters that I see a lot of people coming back and forth to Ummah and coming back and forth. It's almost nothing. It's not true. But the main thing is to know the das. If you know the Sefer, if you know the Sichos, and I see there's a lot of, I'm a purist in Breslev, meaning there's today a lot of mix, people are mixing, and everything is heilig, everything is good. But what I received from Rav Canning and from his, all the way that if you want to receive it properly, you got to do Kiddush and Avdallah. Everything, I'm Mekadesh this, and I'm Mavdil from the others. Doesn't mean you can't get and everything is good. But me, myself, what I live, and sometimes, because when you mix it up together, you're not really getting what the Rebbe says. And if you want to shop around, figure out first what the Rebbe is saying, and then you can see something else, you can compare the two. But if you mix everything in a salad, you're not going to know what he says, not what who says. That's what I think. You don't have to take that. That's what I received. That's already up for discussion. But this first nikud is the tzaddik. To know the Sfarim, to travel. Second is these words. The Ritzoin is the Kisufim. There's a certain amount of prayers that you have to make something happen. And what's so good about that is when it comes with tefillah, you don't think it's you. When you're going to get up and do something, you're going to have a little bit of gaiva. I did it. You see what I did? He said I was able to make. When you beg Hashem, that's why the 7 beggars were beggars. When you beg, it's coming and you realize it's not me. You take a breast and I did a lot of things. He says, what do you mean I did something? I didn't do a thing. I didn't do a thing, really. Because if you're begging Hashem all day and you see it happen, did you do? Hashem did. You had the schus to beg. And the third is what's called nekudas hachaber. And it's almost just as important as the other ones. That means that if I have my nekuda, which I have, maybe you'll appreciate my nekuda. I went to Uman 40 times. I had a real Rav in Breslev for many, many years, and I have today also Rav Chaim Shlita. And this farm we learn every day, and we have a shul, and we're doing things for the Rebbe, and we're trying to make shiur, and we're trying to make. I stayed today to speak to you guys, really. Just I said if I can speak a little bit more about Rabbeinu, I'm staying. And so we're going to go back tomorrow instead of this morning, because a little bit more. That's what I can do for my part, my little part. And I'm trying to. So I got a little bit of a nekuda. Could have got more, but I got something. But you also have one, so I'm gonna feed off yours. Yours is gonna shine to me, and I could get a little bit of you. I don't have to be you, but you can inspire me to be a better me. And that's what the Rebbe said, that there has to be friends that are mikusha to the tzaddik. It's very hard to be a lone Breslever. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. You can't. Arziku, the Rebbe said before passing away, that the people were scared that he was going to pass away, and they were quiet. They were speaking, and he said, "I'm not scared of passing. You can speak openly." And you're worried about yourself. He says, famous Dibur. If already thousands of neshamas that never knew me, I'm able to fix them. Kol sheken, the one that's I'm going after they left, but you're going to be here after I was here in the world, much easier. If you hold yourselves together, you're able to be mamshich the Rebbe. It's too much to receive alone. It's too much. There's until Yudalid, the Likut Halachas on this, that it's such a big light that only when we get together and we mitchamer together and everyone is working private. We have shtayim mikra v'echad targum. I'm doing my double avoida on my own. My double avoida is just mikra. I got to read the parsha twice on Friday and then once on Shabbos. So twice is. Rav Nosson already says that that's a personal avodah. Maybe can add on it that the twice is the two nikud this year. One is I have my avodah of the tzaddik alone. I have my avodah, my personal avodah, but I have to have my avodah together. Got to come to the tzibur and read the Torah together because we share, we bounce things off each other. I get from you something that I couldn't imagine. That's really the way it goes. These three things together allows a person to receive his nekuda. When you receive that nekuda, you become Abu Mana. When you become Abu Mana, you feel so happy with yourself. Because you feel you got the Shalom Aleichem from Shamayim. That's the Chen. That's the heaven telling you, I'm so happy with you. You're on the right path. Keep up what you're doing. I'm staying by a wonderful person here in Rabbi Shubav. Wow. He's a wonderful person. And I found some Lubavitch books. And there's books of my encounter with the Rebbe, Lubavitch Rebbe. You see one by one how he would never take a person out of where they were. He would only make them be the perfect person where they are. It's unbelievable. Not scared of anything. Not scared of any place. Because Hashem is in every place. So why do you have to run away? Could be, Taka, that when you go to Rabbeinu, he's going to change things for you. He'll take you here and put you here. Because really, you're really too far. But sometimes you're very close and you just don't have it. So that's a little bit the message right now. And that's the message for going towards Rosh Hashanah. It's part of it as well. The end of getting together, just speaking about Rabbeinu. There's a lot of, it's so big, the light, and you see it seeping in. I see, remember from 20 years ago and today, people are interested. I go now to the shuls, I see the halachos. People have a misconception. It's our job as well. Just tell you also something that's written in Chiddush. In Torah Ayin, it's written that there's what's called gravity. And that's the koach machiach that separates people from the tzaddik. Because gravity would make it that everything rests on the ground. Only if there's a koach machiach, meaning the opposite of gravity, when I remove something from the ground, it stays away from the ground. The tzaddik is afar ve'efer. He's like dust and dirt. And it means he's so honored, he's so humble, he doesn't hold anything for himself. Everything's from Hashem, so everything comes automatically to him. Everybody will come close to the tzaddik in Am Yisrael. Everybody. And the reason why they don't come is because there are people with their diburim and ma'asim that are pushing others away from the tzaddik. The same way, and so long as there's this koach machiach, Torah Ayin, you can look inside Torah 70, so long as there's that energy that is distancing from the tzaddik, so you stay away. As soon as the energy leaves, it goes right away back down. So, it used to be a lot more. Today it's in style almost, Breslev. Want to hear a Breslev word, want to hear something from Rabbeinu, but still there are people that have the reservations. And why do they have reservations? So Rabbeinu said, people are not cholek on me. They're cholek on who they think I am. Nobody's against me. They're against who they think I am. And the person that they think I am, I'm also against him. It's not me. And there it says, the Rebbe, that there are two things. There are people, adidei dibureh, adidei maaseh. A dibur is, you can have a Rav, Rosh Yeshiva, he means very well. And we're not speaking about anybody. They want to hold their talmidim and they're scared that it could be not the right place, it could be dangerous, could not be good influence, I'm not sure. Sheva taseh adif. With their diburim, they're making that other people will not come. And who do they listen to? Listen to the Gedolim. If I remember what is Likut Halachos that says that Aaron HaKohen is responsible for the Geulah Mitzrayim, not Moshe. Because Moshe is living in Midian, Moshe is coming back tzaddik as he is. Nobody can understand him. He's so heilig, you have no compartments to fit Moshe Rabbeinu into your mind. The only one that can understand a little bit is Aaron HaKohen. He's so great, he's the leader, that he knows if Moshe is bigger than him, if he's real or not. He could keep the covenant for himself. No, I'm the Rebbe, and then nobody goes to Moshe. If he bows his head, he's the younger brother, but he's the Rebbe, everybody goes. It depends on Aaron. Aaron had to do a huge bittul over there to be able to make sure that everybody goes to Moshe Rabbeinu. The Gdoidim, we listen to the Gdoidim. So if the Gadol doesn't say the Gadol, I'm not going there. This year Rabbi Shai Pinto is coming to Uman. Rabbi Shai Pinto is a big Sfardish Rebbe. My family is very Mekushel with Mishpat Pinto in Morocco for many, many, many generations. Rabbi Chaim Pinto Akatan, all the way they were from the Chaim Vital. And this year, he said he's coming to Uman. He has 5,000 Hasidim. So, now, his Hasidim, would some come before? Maybe some would sneak there. But now that it's Rishmit, we're going to Uman, 5,000. Imagine a big Rebbe, a big Gadol says, Uman. You understand that all class is going to go. But Rabbeinu said, I'm not starting there. I'm starting from the bottom. We're the simple guys. That's who we are. Rabbeinu started. What do I have to lose anyways to go to Uman? I'm going. But some people have a lot what to lose. But why is it? So some people, the Diburim, and some, Medaik over there, is the Maasehem. A big Breslev said, what's Maasehem? How do you hold people back with your actions? With your words, I can understand that you hold people back. Don't go, it's not for us. But what's the actions? The actions is the Breslevers that hold people back. The Breslevers can hold people back if they're not acting right. That means that Rabbeinu wants Shulchan Aruch. Rabbeinu wants Derech Eretz. Rabbeinu wants Torah, top. And he wants to add a lot of that on top of that. Now, if somebody's a Breslev is not acting right, the same way we can have a Chilul Hashem in Klal Yisrael, going with the keep and you're doing something wrong. You're going as a Breslev and doing something wrong also, it's not Pashut. That's why the old Breslevers were very scared. Rabbi Chaim Kramer told me, he said, we didn't used to say we're Breslevers. We're scared to say we're Breslev because of the reputation that we're going to have to give to the Rebbe. We wouldn't say. I learned the book sometimes. I'm interested, but I'm a Breslever. Am I a Breslever? So we have to be careful that we give a good representation for the Rebbe. Now, it doesn't mean you don't go. You go and you mitchazik. But to realize that people are looking at you. The best Kiddush Hashem for Breslev is to be a good Jew and to follow the Shulchan Aruch, to do everything proper. That's the best thing you can do, the best promotion for Rabbeinu. So that's a little bit of the message. We'll just review everything we said over here. Is that there's going to come a time where people are going to find their place. But Rabbeinu is able to give it to you now. Rav Nosson said, by me, Mashiach already came. I'm not holding back at all the Geulah. And everybody could get there. How do you find your place? It starts with the tzaddik. The tzaddik knows exactly where he's supposed to fit in. He knows where he's supposed to be. He's able to give you like a vision of this. Then it doesn't end there. You have a lot of work to do from the time he tells you and the time you get there. That's why a lot of people give up, and a lot of people, it could be worse. It could be worse, because if you don't follow the recipe that we said at the beginning, you got to put in the efforts after. It's a tremendous gift to be able to show you, but the beggar comes, he gives you a free bag of bread. Now you want to come with him? You got to work on yourself. You got to close the eyes. There's halachos. You got to follow. You got to know how to keep Shabbos. You got to know how to keep kashrus. There's a lot of things you got to fix. You can't come with me as you are. I gave you a gift, but Pesach and Yetziat Mitzrayim and Shavuos, there's 49 days of work. You got to start working. How is the work? So start to have that Hizboidus every day. Have the halacha every day. Get together. So good if there's a way to learn together once a week, or every Rosh Chodesh, or to make a small minyan on Friday nights. The rest of us have to stay together. It's mamshich the kedusha, and then these voidus every day to pray and to figure out of this bibul to get to where you want to get to. Then you come back, and almost the Rebbe said he did a good job, and I'm opening up in Shamayim. Tzaddikim can do that. Rabbeinu said that Talmidei Abal Shem Tov were able to take away the free will from the person. Take away the free will. Can you imagine taking away the free will? Rabbeinu said it's not my derech bichlal. I give you all the advice, all the diburim, all the words that you can do on your own. I gave everything to you, but I'm not going to do it for you. It was once after Rabbeinu passed away, there was a time that they were starting to put together a book of all the moiftim, all the miracles. You notice we're not moiftim for Rabbeinu. There was a few. In Chaim Moran, there's a few. But Rabbeinu prayed that he shouldn't be remembered for the moiftim. He didn't want to be remembered for that. He wanted that the book should go out and the das should be here for Am Yisrael to become the moifit. The real moifit is you. That you can become what you're supposed to become. And then you have the chem yourself and you love yourself. And when you love yourself, when you feel good about yourself and you're happy, all the success is there. Rabbi says in Sefer Midas, whoever is happy is matzliach. You want success? Be happy. How do you be happy? You gotta love yourself. How do you love yourself? So all these things together, the nikuda of the tzaddik, the nikuda of the izboididus, the nikuda of the chaverim, to go back, to work on yourself in the meantime, to go back. You got to go there, you got to come back. I went once. It's good. But you got to come back to internalize it, to bring it down, you got the check, but you got to cash the check. So that's a bracha, Be'ez Hashem. I want to thank you for coming. It's a cover for me to be able to meet you. And Be'ez Hashem, you have your good chevre. There's a lot of good elements over here. You got to use them, Rabbi. You got to be. You have a lot of koach. You have to. You got to be the shalich of your Canada.
Yeah.
I spoke to the guys over there in Thornhill. I said we got to make a Shabbos together in Montreal. We have about 150. Before COVID, we had about 250 people coming to Uman from our kila.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though we have a small shul, there's a lot of people that are, and so now with COVID a little less, but I think we're at least 150 this year. So we got to make a Shabbos together. Montreal, Toronto, there's a Chevra in Ottawa, Goldstein over there. Make a Shabbos together, something in Achdus. That's Mamshich the Rebbe, because everybody has something what to say. I have to do what to say, but then you'll tell me what you have to say, and then we chazuk together. A good Kodesh,
Just to let everyone know, so we do have a